Is it okay to celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk? Because today, America is not just filled with people mourning the death of a father and husband. It's also filled with people celebrating the death of a controversial political figure.
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed. How do you feel?
Happy. Goodbye.
Wow. Did you see that Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed?
That's good.
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed today. What do you feel about that?
Girl, someone had to do it.
Tonight we're looking at some disturbing videos that will haunt you forever.
The bullet struck Kirk in the neck, causing him to collapse on the stage. But how did the assassin escape despite the huge crowd? The assailant's use of distance, the campus layout, and what is believed to be a scoped firearm indicate a high degree of planning and precision. The shooter chose an elevated, concealed position to avoid close detection and maximize the chances of escape. Here is the bullet trajectory.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you to all the channel members for support. If you guys haven't already subscribed, make sure to smash that subscribe button. We're 25k off of 100k. Also, make sure to like and hype up the video so it gets pushed to more people. Let's go.
This is the craziest thing I have ever seen. This article was posted 2 days ago, and it's a writer who hired multiple Etsy witches to curse Charlie Kirk. Today, he's been confirmed dead after getting pew-pewed at a Utah university. You cannot make this up. For the record, Pop Diaries does not condone violence or unaliving of people, but let's get into it. The writer wanted to curse Charlie Kirk. One of the witches that she hired for a powerful hex spell. She provided Charlie's birthday, and the witch said something really unsettling. The witch had told her, "I just completed your spell and it was successful. You will see the first results within 2 to 3 weeks. However, I did notice some disturbances." She says that negative energy will not only be on the writer of this article, but also projected at her. And then she also hired another one for another hex, and that witch showed her the receipt of her doing the hex, which showed proof of Charlie's photograph in flames, the edges curving inward, engulfing Charlie's ridiculous scrunched up little face, she says. And then the witch told her, trust the unseen. Here's the crazy part. The writer actually made the purchase on August 22nd, which is the Virgo new moon, she says. Now remember, the first witch had told her, wait for 2 to 3 weeks to see results. Charlie's unaliving happened nearly 3 weeks after she paid for this. At the end of the article, the writer says, so did my Etsy curses work? Time will tell. She says the forces move in mysterious ways, and as the priestess reminded her, spellwork is a collaboration between the caster, the client, and the universe itself. And then at the end, she also thanks the witches. She also says, and to you, Mr. Kirk, may the rash come swiftly. That is insane.
A man who went overboard on a cruise ship over the weekend allegedly jumped ship to avoid paying a $16,000 gambling debt. Jay Gonzalez Diaz began his Royal Caribbean cruise on August 31st. When the ship returned to Puerto Rico on September 7th, he allegedly jumped off the boat and into the water near Port San Juan. Then he jumps on the back of someone's jet ski and is brought to shore. U.S. Customs and Border Protection later found him near the Capitol building in Puerto Rico with $14,600 in cash, 2 phones, and 5 IDs. This is all according to a criminal complaint, which also says Gonzalez Diaz allegedly did this whole thing to avoid the monetary reporting requirements when traveling into the United States. He allegedly told officers he jumped off the cruise ship because he, quote, did not want to report the currency on his possession because he thought he was going to be taxed duties for bringing in the currency. Okay, that's not all. Upon further investigation, they found that he owed Royal Caribbean $16,710.24. That's according to the complaint. That debt was almost exclusively associated to gambling and casino expenses, according to the complaint. So what makes this even all the more complicated is that Jay Gonzalez Diaz booked the cruise under the name Jeremy Diaz, but a Jeremy Omar Gonzalez Diaz has been in a detention center in Puerto Rico since January. Jay said that's his brother. The complaint also said when they asked Jay for his full name, he told investigators, quote, if you guys were good at your job, you would know that. According to local media, Jay Gonzalez Diaz was released on bail, and if he's convicted, he could face a fine of up to $250,000 or a maximum 5-year prison sentence, or both.
My least favorite things about space, part 19. Space is not like a fun place to be. Sure, at first you might float around a little bit, get a great view, and then your eyeballs are gonna get deformed. And the structure of your brain, like how it sits inside your skull, is going to change. And you're gonna lose density in your bones. Like an old lady with osteoporosis, that's gonna be you. If you're not working out legitimately all the time, you're also gonna lose muscle mass, which not only means that you're gonna be weaker, but it also means that your heart is going to shrink. Food is gonna stop tasting good, not only because of the effects of microgravity, but because they cater your entire diet so that you fart less, because if you fart, your farts are flammable, and you could set the entire space station on fire and squad wipe your entire crew. And if they put you in a spacesuit, sometimes the gloves are so tight that your fingernails come off. The skin on the bottom of your feet is gonna fall off. You're probably also gonna lose any notion of up and down or a 24-hour day, because if you're on the ISS, the sun comes up every hour and a half. It's also worth noting that it's gonna smell so bad because you're literally trapped in a floating box with a bunch of people who can't really take a shower and all of their waste. And when you take a tinkle on the ISS, it gets recycled into your drinking water. But the worst thing is that the entire time that you're there, you're getting blasted by radiation. And in case you forgot, radiation does not make you a member of the Fantastic Four. It gives you cancer.
See, someone like me, I like to be outside, where I could walk, go for a run, you know what I'm saying? See a dog, see the trees. Like, if I'm trapped in that confined space for months, I'm gonna be depressed, literally.
For the Utah Department of Public Safety. If you look up to the top left, you'll see the building where the shooter was proned out in the top left corner. We'll go ahead and play that video and I'll narrate as we walk through that. So here you see that the suspect ran behind that upper building. He's going to come out on the right, moves to this far right corner. As he does, he's going to climb off the edge and then drop down to the ground. As he did that, he left some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's a shoe imprint where we believe the suspect is clearly identified as wearing Converse tennis shoes. Again, we'll replay that again so you can get another view of that. It's important to note his black t-shirt, his black pants, and there appears to be some white on the soles of those Converse tennis shoes. Those are all identifiable items that we're looking for. In the stills that are going to follow this, you're going to see a very distinctive t-shirt with an American flag and appears to have an eagle on it. There's also a baseball cap with a triangle on it and a pair of sunglasses. All distinctive, all things that we would ask the public to look for and try to identify if they know someone who has those items, who has been seen wearing those items. We're looking for all that information. Here you see the suspect after dropping off the building. He moved around across this grassy area, around the parking lot. We're going to pan to the right. After he crosses the street, this is where he moves over into the wooded area. This is the video evidence that we utilize to track his movements and to locate that firearm in that wooded area following the discovery of this evidence. Good. You want to go to the stills? So here's the still photographs I mentioned. These have been enhanced. So these are slightly different than what we introduced earlier. Please pay close attention to the t-shirt. Like I said, very distinctive with that American flag and that eagle. The hat with the triangle and the sunglasses. If you go to the next picture, please. The backpack as well. All identifying features that we're hoping the public can help us identify and lead us to this suspect. Next picture. And again, there's a better picture of the hat with that triangle logo, and again, the t-shirt. Blue jeans, and you get a good look at those Converse tennis shoes as well. We have pushed these out, we'll continue to push these out, and we just ask for the public's cooperation through the public. The tips that have been coming in are what are giving us our next leads and enabling us to continue to further this investigation. We've had great cooperation from the public, and we're continuing to ask for that as we move forward.
Yeah, so towards the end of this video, I actually show clips of where they actually found him and how they found him. So yes, they did end up finding the suspect, and a lot of you probably already saw over the weekend that it pretty much showed that they found the dude, they arrested him, and they figured out the reason why he did it.
बाय बोल बाय मुझे बताना पानी बहुत तेज है
2019, you were driving and you were at an intersection and then suddenly your car gets shot up. I guess there was 12 shots?
26.
26 shots.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time you got hit.
Yeah.
And you actually got hit in the neck.
Yeah, I got hit in the neck.
Okay, well, how many times did you get hit total?
I got shot one time. One bullet came from my neck to my back.
Do you drive yourself to the hospital?
No, I actually got out the car. I had people was looking at my neck. I knew something was wrong. So I put my hoodie over my neck and there was a car behind me. I tried to open their door and get in it and go to the hospital, tell them to take me to the hospital, but I couldn't talk. My voice was graspy at the time. I guess because I was hitting the neck, I was like, take me to the hospital, take me to the hospital. I couldn't even talk. I ain't had no voice or nothing. So I'm snatching on people's doors. They pulling off on me. It was like 4 cars behind me. So I went to the fourth car that was behind me. Dude, like, man, come on, get in. I'll take you. Took me to the hospital. I went to the hospital. I was walking in the hospital. I was walking in that bitch. I walked in like I'm walking in the hospital with my thing on my neck, just walking in the hospital. They like, sit right here. A lady came, shot me in my arm with something. I went through surgery and I made it.
Okay. Without saying any names, do you personally know who did it?
No, I don't know.
Do you feel angry over the situation still?
No, I ain't angry.
Really? I think I would be angry.
Dude definitely got better patience than me. He said he got shot in the neck and he's chilling. He's not mad or none. He's like, it is what it is. First of all, I'm trying to figure out how he was able to breathe and or talk. He said he got shot here and it went to his back. What? With that basically an AK-47. For those who don't know what a Draco is, it's pretty much like an AK-47 without a stock.
If reincarnation is real, with the family you have right now that you love and you're attached to and you don't want to die because you don't want to leave them, the family that before you came here, you died, and you love that family a lot too. But that family's probably still here on Earth depending on how old you are. That's crazy, right? And you don't even remember them, and you forgot them, and they're grieving you. But if you're 20, let's just say they're 20 years older than they were without you. For the last 20 years, they've been grieving you, and you're here again. We would treat people a lot different if we looked at them like it could be a potential past family member. Because if we seen an older person walking out of a store, not really, being too happy or whatever, how do we know they're not grieving somebody they lost? And even if they told you they were grieving somebody they lost, what if that somebody was you? And that was your people, that was your parents, that was your dad, that was your mom. And and you wouldn't act like that to them. Or even if they were able to prove it and said, hey, this is your past life parent, would that be awkward or what? You'd be like, it feels like a stranger. But if they proved it, would you still have that same love? Or would it be different because you were on a different energetic lifespan at this time?
Breaking space news, NASA just had a press conference and they said this.
Did we get this right? Do we think this is signs of ancient life on Mars? And after a year of review, they've come back and they said, listen, we can't find another explanation. So this very well could be the clearest sign of life that we've ever found on Mars.
This image was taken by the Perseverance rover on Mars and released by NASA last year, and this rock is now the best evidence we've ever had for ancient life on Mars. This is the area where the rover is on Mars, and it very obviously had running water in the past. And the rover took a sample of this rock and found that it contains organic compounds. If you zoom in, you can see these white polka dots surrounded by black rings. These contain iron and phosphate. We've never seen this on Mars, but we have seen this on Earth when there's a fossilized record of microbes living in the subsurface. The spots on the rock could have been left behind by microbial life if it had used the raw ingredients, the organic carbon, the sulfur, and the phosphorus that we see on the rock as an energy source. There are ways to produce these spots without biological reactions, things like sustained high temperatures, acidic conditions, and binding organic compounds, but there's no evidence of any of that happening here. This is what this area looked like. So this specific rock in an ancient river valley has organic matter and crystallized magma right here, and an energy source for microbes. So it's becoming not only possible, but increasingly likely that this is the first evidence of ancient microbial life on Mars.
Okay, so this is some of the craziest shit I've ever seen, right? So I'm at the Charlie Kirk event, which is here at Utah Valley University. And as soon as the event gets started, and he was maybe on like the first, second person or whatever, and what I thought I heard was fireworks, like firecrackers or something like that. And then everybody just starts freaking out ducking and running, trying to get down, take cover, get through the doors. Turns out Charlie Kirk got shot. Yes, Charlie Kirk got shot. There's multiple people that were telling me how they saw like he was shot like around this area and like blood was like oozing out of that area and stuff. Dude, that's absolutely insane. But no more shots were fired after that. Like, they shot Charlie Kirk and just completely stopped. I don't know what the hell's going on, because, you know, there should be, you know, more police and stuff like that. This is a massive event at Utah Valley University. There's tons of people and there's terrible policing, which is insane, you know, because you never know. There might be some crazy ass person out there with a gun, and look what happened today. So, see, look at this. You hear the police sirens, everything. Dude, that is scary. I've never had anything like that happen. And, you know, let me tell you, man, just because you don't agree with somebody doesn't mean you should try to take their life, man. That's messed up, you know? Like, you know, I'm not even a fan of Charlie Kirk. I disagree with him on a lot of stuff, and I think he's a shill. But, dude, that's so wrong still. Like, why would somebody try to take another person's life just because they disagree? I don't know, dude. At the end of the day, man, just don't take your life for granted. Hopefully he's okay, man. I really, really hope Charlie Kirk is okay, regardless of our differences in opinion, man. I hope he has a fast recovery. I hope he's not, you know, I hope he's still alive. So, sad to see, man, sad to see.
That was someone there live at the scene. You can hear the police sirens going off crazy. He said he hopes he's still alive. Dude, when you get shot like that, I don't know why the news try to bait people like, oh yeah, he was still alive, he's just in critical condition. Dude, you are not surviving that. Like, he lost consciousness instantly. As soon as the bullet hit him, it was lights. It was almost like a headshot.
This very well could be the clearest sign of life that we've ever found on Mars.
So last July, NASA's Perseverance rover found a leopard-spotted rock at Mars. And scientists immediately knew. It was interesting, we hadn't seen anything like that before.
What we saw in this rock were these layers of very fine-grained, rusty red mudstone that had in them these incredible features, these things that we took to calling poppy seeds, which are the sort of dark black spots in the rock, and leopard spots, which are these kind of ring-shaped features that have dark rims around them.
They've done the analysis on these leopard spots, and we think they are potentially made by some sort of ancient life. This finding by our incredible Perseverance rover is the closest we've actually come to discovering ancient life on Mars.
The discovery of a potential biosignature or a feature or signature that could be consistent with biological processes, but that requires further work and study to confirm a biological origin.
Alright, so this was Charlie Kirk's shooter, alright? This was 200 yards away. They came out and said that the shooter was 200 yards away. That's him right there. The whole video, you can see it, alright? As someone that's done competitive shooting for almost 3 years and has a vast experience with firearms, this is a difficult shot to make with a 308 round. Alright? I don't care who you are, like, especially because this is a normal dude. It's not like he has some, like, crazy training unless that we don't know of. This is not an easy shot, like, for a normal person to take. And that old guy that they detained, whoever it really was, because they said that might not be the shooter, whoever it really was, I almost guarantee you that they will not reveal the actual shooter, because that is a difficult shot to make. I don't know why they never revealed the actual shooter.
What's that? Oh, scientists have discovered that octopuses have arrived here on Earth from a comet from millions of miles away? What? Yeah, you heard that right. Scientists have discovered that octopuses come from a comet from millions of miles away, then landed on Earth. Now, what's even crazier is videos are coming out of octopuses making their own cities in the ocean. They're building and constructing their own cities in the ocean. Oh, goody. I'm so happy for them to be able to just build their own cities without any repercussions, such as paying taxes or just paying for the land that they're building it on. That's so wonderful for them. Okay. Is there any way that we can start making up our own rules when it comes to building homes and structures and such? Oh, no, okay.
I mean, respectfully, we don't even know if they're actually paying taxes or not, because we're not octopus. But yeah, he's not lying. This is what he's talking about, pretty much. Isn't it crazy? Octopus making cities.
Subscribe. This is what different dimensions look like. Okay, so we have a glass table in someone's kitchen. Boom. There's a whole nother world, a whole nother dimension, all around us, all the time. But we can't see it. Stay weird, y'all.
On September 10, 2025, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. This is the possible position where the assassin had a clear line of sight from a building located about 430 feet away. The assassin squeezed the trigger and a single bullet traveled this distance and struck Charlie Kirk right in the neck. More detail all in the video ahead. Charlie Kirk was tragically assassinated at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah on September 10, 2025. He was hosting a large outdoor debate event as part of Turning Point USA's nationally publicized tour, titled the American Comeback Tour. This event was designed as a lively debate platform called Prove Me Wrong, where Kirk invited students to challenge his political and cultural views. But first, let's orient ourselves with a bird's-eye view of the scene and the positions of everyone involved. Utah Valley University's campus is a mix of open courtyards and multi-story academic buildings. At the heart of the event was the Losey Center building, a multi-story structure adjacent to the main courtyard where Kirk's event took place. Charlie Kirk himself was positioned on an outdoor stage under a large white tent emblazoned with the tour's banner. He was sitting and speaking into a microphone, facing hundreds of students seated along the main walkway and gathered around the stage. The crowd was estimated at over 3,000 attendees, including students and visitors. Meanwhile, on the rooftop of the Losey Center building, a person dressed entirely in black was seen. This building was approximately 430 feet, about 131 meters, from where Kirk and his team were stationed on the stage. The rooftop provided a clear vantage point with open sightlines directly to the event area. Security footage and numerous eyewitness accounts have confirmed that the gunshot rang out from this rooftop location while Kirk was actively speaking. The bullet struck Kirk in the neck, causing him to collapse on the stage. But how did the assassin escape despite the huge crowd? The assailant's use of distance, the campus layout, and what is believed to be a scoped firearm indicate a high degree of planning and precision. The shooter chose an elevated, concealed position to avoid close detection and maximize the chances of escape. Here is the bullet trajectory. Given this altitude, the assassin had a clear, unobstructed line of sight directly to the stage where Charlie Kirk was standing and addressing the crowd. The bullet's trajectory descended steeply and accurately through open space to strike Kirk in the neck, which strongly suggests the use of a scoped firearm designed for long-range precision. As soon as the shot was fired, the gunman likely retreated to an entrance on the top of the building. Despite security efforts, the shooter disappeared without a trace, climbing down from the building and blending into nearby campus structures or escape routes surrounding the Losey Center. Witnesses reported that panic broke out immediately after the shot. The audience scattered, seeking shelter as shouts of "Get down" and "Run" echoed across the courtyard. Campus police and Kirk's personal security team moved swiftly to secure the area and evacuate Kirk.
Which is more accurate, a camera photo or a mirror reflection?
Neither. Now, this is a really important question. When you look at yourself in a selfie photo, we actually did a clinical trial on this. When you look at yourself in a selfie photo, it distorts your face. It makes the center part of your face wider. So you think of yourself as having a big nose or a small chin, and that's because of fish eyes. Now, to make sure that the photo of you is real, is you want to be at a distance of 5 feet. In that case, you get a more standardized photo that's more accurate of what you truly look like. Now remember, an image in a camera is a reverse image of what you see in the mirror. So sometimes you see something in the mirror like, oh, I don't like this. I got this spot here. And then in a camera, it's on the opposite side. So you get confused. And sometimes you don't know what you like. So the bottom line is, we often don't really know what we look like, and you cannot trust selfies, whether it's you or a friend. That may not be a true representation.
Alright, so this was Charlie Kirk's shooter, alright? This was 200 yards away. They came out and said that the shooter was 200 yards away. That's him right there. The whole video, you can see it, alright? As someone that's done competitive shooting for almost 3 years and has a vast experience with firearms, this is a difficult shot to make with a 308 round. Alright? I don't care who you are, like, especially because this is a normal dude. It's not like he has some, like, crazy training unless that we don't know of. This is not an easy shot, like, for a normal person to take. And that old guy that they detained, whoever it really was, because they said that that might not be the shooter, whoever it really was, I almost guarantee you that they will not reveal the actual shooter, because that is a difficult shot to make. I don't know why they never revealed the actual shooter.
Was Charlie Kirk killed instantly? I'm a forensic scientist and a former CSI. I got this question on a recent video, so let me explain. Now, obviously, he was transported from the scene and he was briefly listed as critical at the hospital, but functionally, I think he died pretty much immediately, and let me explain why. Now, this is a picture of him taken just before he was shot. In fact, you can see in this still that I grabbed from a video that his shirt is actually wrinkling because the bullet is traveling across his chest. So it's literally the instant before he is shot. And you can see that his arms are down. But then just a moment later, after he's shot, both of his arms curl up and he's got both of his hands in fists. One, it's hard to tell because he's holding the microphone, but the other hand makes a fist and he holds both arms up to his chest and then he falls over. So it looks like he's decorticating, which is this posture that you see. Obviously, this person is lying down, but when you decorticate, you kind of pull your hands up to your chest like a boxer and you make little fists and your wrists curl. When you decorticate, your arms are bent upwards, you have curled wrists, and your hands ball up. This is a reflex that happens when you have a very severe brain injury or brainstem injury. Coupling that with the fact that he lost an unbelievable amount of blood very quickly, and I've already talked about the damage that would have been done to the internal structures by the temporary and permanent wound cavity, I do think that he died basically instantly for all intents and purposes.
It's exactly like what I was saying earlier. I'm pretty sure he literally died instantly. It only makes sense.
The son of Norway's future king has just been charged with rape, sexual assault, bodily harm, and 23 other offenses. And this was part of an over 10-month-long investigation that police say involved a, quote, double-digit number of alleged victims. God damn, that's Prince Joffrey IRL. 28-year-old Marius Hobie had one hella busy 2024. He was arrested 3 times in 4 months. And then since then, police have been investigating, but then last week, they officially hit him with 23 criminal charges. They said they have evidence of the crimes, which include text messages, pictures, videos, witness testimonies, and police searches. And the attorney for the Oslo police said, quote, "I cannot go into further detail about the number of victims in the case beyond confirming that it is in the double digits."
He just got shot! Holy Holy There's been a shooting, we heard shots. You guys okay? Okay, love you. Be safe.
Is it okay to celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk? Because today, America is not just filled with people mourning the death of a father and husband. It's also filled with people celebrating the death of a controversial political figure.
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed. How do you feel?
Happy. Goodbye.
Wow. Did you see that Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed?
That's good.
Charlie Kirk gets shot and killed today. What do you feel about that?
Girl, someone had to do it.
I mean, it didn't take long. This man was seen on camera smiling and pumping his fists just moments after the shot rang out. And according to witnesses, he wasn't the only one.
The liberals who were there were cheering and someone just got killed. Disgusting.
One TikToker by the name of Horace Gold has gone viral for sharing his opinion on why it should be acceptable to celebrate his death.
Oh no, someone who wants me dead died. Anyway, piece of shit. You got what you deserve. I'm sorry, you're a bad person. Bad things happen to bad people, celebrate it. It should happen more often. Not death necessarily, but like karma. Some of y'all are weak. You should be able to say, thank God that my dead. Thank God that is no longer able to cause harm. It's a miracle. Hallelujah. Ding dong, the witch is dead. No one mourns the wicked.
And a lot of the comments backed him up. Like, am I crazy? He was a bad, dangerous person. An advocate for gun violence was a victim of gun violence. Oh no. I do think his kids will be better without his influence in their upbringing. And I only share this because that comment got nearly 20,000 likes in the matter of hours. But the problem is, many people argue that celebrating a killing like this only encourages more.
If anyone in the sound of my voice celebrated even a little bit at the news of this shooting, I would beg you to look in the mirror and to see if you can find a better angel in there somewhere. I don't care what his politics are, I care that he was an American.
But before you think it's the entire left that feel this way, it's not. Project Liberal posted, "We agree with Charlie Kirk on basically nothing, except that he deserves the right, as every human does, to speak freely without the threat of violence." Multiple Democrat politicians and former presidents have spoken out condemning the shooting, and also some of the most prominent liberal figures on TikTok who have had heated debates with Charlie Kirk in the past, like Parker and Dean. They too condemned the shooting, and both even went as far as telling people who celebrated it to stop supporting them and unfollow. In fact, Dean said,
"If you want to end gun violence, it is something that you can never celebrate."
Unfortunately, America is increasingly becoming a place where their Second Amendment right is costing them their First Amendment right. But what do you guys think? Can this death be a wake-up call and a turning point for the country, or will this only divide Americans even more?
Respectfully celebrating someone's death that just had an opinion. He didn't go out and like hurt nobody, did anything to anyone. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Some of his opinions are very extreme, but I still don't think like he deserved to just get shot. Like, that's insane in my opinion.
Here's the last 24 hours in geopolitics. Shockwaves in America. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk tragically lost his life after being shot while speaking at Utah Valley University. A manhunt is underway. President Trump ordered flags at half-staff, and Vice President J.D. Vance rushed to Utah to console Kirk's family. In Washington, Trump demanded Netanyahu pledge not to strike Qatar again after Israel's attack on Hamas leaders in Doha. Qatar called it a betrayal and warned it may rethink its partnership with the U.S. Netanyahu remains defiant, saying Israel will target Hamas everywhere. In Nepal, the army is in talks with Gen Z protesters to appoint an interim leader after unrest forced the PM to resign. Former Chief Justice Sushila Karki is emerging as a frontrunner. In the Caribbean, the U.S. Coast Guard intercepted a suspected drug boat carrying tons of cocaine, sinking the vessel while Venezuela condemned the deployment of U.S. warships. France is ablaze once again. Protests under the Block Everything slogan shook the nation, with over 200,000 on the streets as new PM Sébastien Lecornu faced an immediate crisis. In London, Prime Minister Starmer fired Ambassador Peter Mandelson after revelations about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. On Asia's tense borders, Thailand and Cambodia agreed to pull back heavy weapons after deadly July clashes, while India warned its citizens not to join Russia's military. NATO jets shot down Russian drones in Polish airspace, escalating fears of a direct clash with Moscow. Meanwhile, Israel struck Yemen's capital Sana'a, causing dozens of casualties just a day after hitting Hamas leaders in Qatar. In Congo, authorities say nearly 90 people were killed after IS-linked rebel attacks. In Gaza, severe malnutrition among children worsened as aid remains blocked. And Spain's sports minister called out double standards, urging Israeli teams be treated like Russian ones were in global competitions. America marked 24 years since 9/11 with solemn tributes. In the UK, Prince Harry met King Charles for the first time in 19 months. Australia announced $1.1 billion for Ghost Shark underwater drones to bolster its navy. And in Georgia, over 300 South Korean workers detained in last week's ICE raid were flown home, testing U.S.-Korea ties. Finally, in Tunisia, activists preparing the Gaza aid flotilla reported another suspected drone strike, which officials called an orchestrated assault on their mission.
For some reason, that news just gives me like World War II vibes. Like, every country is kind of like fighting right now. Ukraine and Russia, Israel is attacking like 3 other countries. Like, everything is just giving me clash. Like, before you know it, America is going to get dragged into something.
2 days after Charlie Kirk's assassination, the suspect has been identified as Tyler Robinson, a 22-year-old Utah resident. Here's what we know so far. Robinson was arrested Thursday night in southern Utah after allegedly confessing to his father. His father, a law enforcement veteran, reportedly alerted authorities and helped secure his son before officers took him into custody. Robinson was a student at Utah Valley University, insiders told Daily Mail. He lived in Washington, Utah, about 260 miles south of the assassination site in Orem. A 2017 photo from his mother's social media shows him dressed as Donald Trump for Halloween. His motive remains unclear.
Trump says the newly captured Kirk suspect will receive this severe punishment from the government after he released extensive details on the man that the FBI currently has in custody. During a live interview on Fox, Trump detailed that the FBI has a high degree of certainty that they currently have the correct perpetrator in custody. This is after authorities previously wrongly detained 2 people and then turned to the public for help by releasing images and videos of a person of interest, and they signed that the investigation was was struggling. Trump then divulged that the capture was ultimately made possible because the FBI received a direct call from the suspect's own father, as according to Daily Mail, a 22-year-old Utah student was captured after he returned home and confessed to his dad, who served 27 years in the Washington County Sheriff's Department. His father immediately restrained him and held him until the authorities arrived. Trump went into further detail regarding the case by saying that the government will likely be seeking capital punishment against him.
Yeah, he's 100% getting either life in prison or the death penalty. One of the FBI directors actually said some crazy things. I'm about to put it in the video right now. They were saying that they want to give him like some Viking type punishment, like beheading type stuff. Like, isn't that crazy?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th, in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there has been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, Oh Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao, Ciao. And a third unfired casing read, if you read this, you are gay, LMAO.
As that dude is reading it, it's crazy.
At a New York City pet store, a woman inexplicably kicks a puppy's kennel twice, then appears to argue with employees. And when they ask her to leave, she heads towards manager Emilio Ortiz, who's recording the incident with his phone.
Yo, out of here. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? My thought process was keep her cool, get her out of here. And then she grabs a bunch of things that we have on our counter and throws them all over the floor.
Unfortunately, that's not all she does.
Oh my God. As she's walking out, she makes eye contact with one client and slaps them right in the face. Oh! And my coworker Jimmy goes to her and tries to calm her down a little bit, while her friend that was with her ran out of the store and tried to chase the slapper down.
But the friend of the woman who was slapped apparently loses sight of her.
Her friend calls 911. The police show up shortly thereafter.
According to court records, she is arrested and charged with assault and harassment. She pleads not guilty. The case is ongoing.
That is crazy. That woman literally did nothing. She just literally just looked like, what the hell?
My son texted me and said, hey, this is Tyler Robinson that lives 3 doors down. And I'm like, no, it can't be. And it was. Kid was smart, quiet. He never caused any problems. It was a shock. You know what I know about Tyler is he was always very quiet. He was very smart. He had just a real mellow personality. I did watch the press on the shooting pretty much all that day. My grandson happened to be at that rally. And then this morning, my son texted me and said, hey, this is Tyler Robinson that lives 3 doors down. And I'm like, no, it can't be. And it was. And it's shocking. That's not who's in our neighborhood.
A lot of people believe that's a UFO. I don't necessarily think it's a UFO. I personally think it's just a government classified new sort of like technology that they're working on. A lot of people have been seeing it and they're like, oh my god, it's a UFO, it's a UFO. To me, I feel like UFOs don't really regulate to our lighting situation. Like, you know how certain aircrafts have to have certain types of lights and certain types of flash so that other aircrafts know it's there? I feel like a UFO doesn't have none of that. Like, it might have a light, but not necessarily like how we do our traditional lighting systems for like aviation, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Thank you all for watching this here video.